Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of dynamic footwork today, just to include in your practice, something to help strengthen your legs, something to give you a few different ideas of what to include in your daily practices. So I would always start with some calf raises or some heel raises. Hold on to something, so you take out the element of balance and you're just including your feet. Spread the weight out along the balls of your feet. Don't avoid those big toes where possible unless they're painful. And just lifting your heels straight up and down. And as I'm doing this, I'll just talk you through a few ways that you can add to these, progress on them. I don't think you'll need to regress though. So progression would be more repetitions, would be increasing the range of motion. So that might be that you stand on your stairs, you stand on a yoga brick so that your heels go further down and then you have to lift them from further up. Also progression is adding load, which could be as simple as doing 1 foot at a time. And what this is doing is strengthening your calf muscles, your feet, your ankles. So very helpful. And then from here, we'll just start with some dynamic lunges. And I'll talk you through these as you're doing them. So small step forwards. So my right foot steps forwards, my left heel is lifting, and I'm trying to stay even along the ball of my left foot. Try not to let my left foot swing out, so that when I bend my knees, I can just get a straight movement down rather than moving out to the side with that knee. And then as you spring back here, you want to lean forwards into your front foot and then come off that foot and try and catch it in the air, rather than, and I'll talk you through this as you go further forwards, rather than scraping your heel back. So you go a bit further forwards, come down, push up. So the whole movement becomes something that's active and something that's going to train your legs. So what you're trying to avoid as you come forwards is this sort of sliding back movement. So what I would say is limit the range of motion to the point where you're able to lift your foot up. And then from here, what we'll do, because something we were struggling with, I think, last week, was this standing up from a lunge. And I was thinking about how we could regress that. And actually a way to regress it is to do a high lunge. So you were doing it with your back knee down. If you do it from a high lunge, so I've got all 10 of my toes forwards, I'm going to try loading up my front foot and then just try coming out of that front foot a little bit. So I'm still on it, but I'm just taking some of the weight out. So it's a shift forwards and backwards where you can kind of feel out having all your weight in one leg at a time. And then as you load up this front leg, you can hold on to something. So it could be your banisters, a bed frame, something stable, and see if you can slide your back foot forwards. So effectively, you're all in that front leg, loading your front leg up, front knee bent, sliding your back foot forwards. And then from there, once you feel stable and comfortable doing that, the way to progress it, and this is kind of like going from 0 to 60 very quickly, would be to do it with your back knee down. So with this back knee down, again, you don't have to limit the amount of steps. So you might drag your back foot along the floor, you might drag your back knee along the floor, but it's all about loading up this front leg. So we're coming into that front leg, bringing your knee as far forwards as your knee can accommodate and your ankle can accommodate, and then also reaching your arms forward. So you're loading up that front foot. And what you can actually try from here is maybe coming forwards and backwards. So again, it's quite dynamic. And it's just teaching you that shift of weight. So we do this sometimes when we do the hover of our foot. And then from here, again, holding onto something might help because it gives you that sort of forwards momentum. You load up that back foot. You can curl your back toes under. You might even lift your back knee and return to the movement we just did. Or you might, and this will take some practice, try and do it all in one step. So just for some context, I find this really hard, and I do a lot of weightlifting, so I find this movement hard. So it might be that this is a few stages down the line for you, but trying to come straight forwards. So you take some of the steps out of it, using this front leg. So it's all about that push and forwards momentum in the front leg. My back leg here is doing about 5% of the work. So yes, I would add several repetitions, start with heel raises, dynamic lunges, forwards and backwards. I'd choose a number, maybe 5 on each side, and then your high lunge with your forwards drag. This is similar in a way to when we stand on one leg and we do our toe taps. It's a similar movement, you're loading up one leg, but you're working with forward momentum. So again, you might do your toe taps. So all my weight here is in this left leg. You might do those, again, to prepare for the higher load movements. Any questions, please feel free to ask.